Okay, welcome in. It is Saturday. It's time for the Saturday edition of Total Bases. That's why we're an hour later, because we want to go before last call. Also, we might stay up a little later on Friday night. I know I get up early on Saturday morning, Tokyo Brandon, because the KBO starts at 4 a.m. on the East Coast Saturday morning. So, I'm usually up quite early to watch those games. I was this morning. I'm going to go to you first, Bryan Leonard. We're going to kick the show off with Dodgers Padres. Yesterday, you had sort of alluded to the fact on the show that you were looking at the Padres, weren't sure you were going to get the price that you wanted. They looked really good last night, 7-1 win. So talk to me about Dodgers Padres, but also how was your Friday?
Yeah, it was one of those days that just about everything that I was looking at worked out well. We went against Milwaukee in the first 5, and a lot of people hated it, which means I thought I had a pretty good bet. And I didn't even need the plus 1.5 as they led it after 5 innings, 1-0. And then Milwaukee, as the game went on, they had the better pitching staff at that point, and it worked out, and they got the victory. But hey, we got that for the parlay yesterday. And we also had a 5% that was winning by 7 runs, and they had to go to overtime, extra innings to get that victory. And that was the Twins. The bullpen completely fell apart, but we still won the game, but it was a lot of sweat that we didn't need to have, if you ask me. But still, a perfect game for us and our clients. So let's continue on today. Yeah, I did like the Padres yesterday. Never got there. It's frustrating when there's teams that you like and you just don't get there and they win. But, there's just as many times as they don't come through. So Yamamoto against Vasquez. Yamamoto's about a 190, 195 favorite here with a total of 8. Like the Padres yesterday a little bit, and I kind of like the Dodgers today, but I don't want to lay that number. Yamamoto's been great on the season. He's the number 10 ranked starting pitcher in baseball, according to Fangraphs, and he's been a pretty good run, 51 the last couple of weeks. The bullpen, Tanner Scott, who I know TB's had some problems with him in the past, but he's turning into having a really good year. He's a 7th ranked reliever in baseball, 3rd the last 2 weeks. He's starting to bring it on, and Vesia and Kyle Hurd have also had the last couple of days off, and Will Klein hasn't pitched in 4 days. So the bullpen works out really well for the Dodgers here, and they've got their ace on the mound. And from a hitting standpoint, there's really nobody other than Kyle Tucker right now and Dalton Rushing that are really struggling. The rest of the guys are hitting pretty well. Nobody's knocking the cover off the ball. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman are playing well offensively. So I kind of like the Dodgers here. From a San Diego standpoint, they've got Randy Vasquez on the mound, and he's been the weak link lately for this Padres starting rotation. The last 2 weeks, he's rated 159 on the season, 107. JP Sears came out and pitched a pretty good game the other day, and Walker Buehler, who I continue to say, why bet against Walker Buehler? He's not showing anything that should show you that you should bet against him. He's up to 81 on the season, 24 the last 2 weeks, but he's not going today. And the problem with the Padres is, other than Mason Miller, who hasn't pitched in 3 days, they had Morajan, Adam, and Masui all pitch yesterday, Peralta also. So they hadn't played on Thursday, and they pitched yesterday. So it's not as bad as what you would normally get, but still, the Dodgers bullpen should be as equal or better than what the Padres have today. And I do like obviously Yamamoto better. So I'm leaning with the Dodgers here, but need to find a different way because I don't want to lay the 195 out there right now. So we'll see. That's one of the things. It's a night game, so we got plenty of time to look for a way to either play the Padres under team total or something to that effect.
Tokyo Brandon, you survived the earthquake that happened during the show yesterday, so we're happy. We're happy about that. Aside from the earthquake, how did your Friday go? And talk to me about Dodgers Padres.
Yeah, MLB was nice. I think I was 3-1 in MLB, but then KBO, I had Hama just like you, won that one, but I put a little on NC, and they just looked horrible. So I went 1-2 in the KBO. So overall, okay day. Yeah, the earthquake was crazy. I'm good now. 2 announcements. You can get a double play. 2 of us, 3 guys for the next 3 days. Huge discount. And if you like Sunday action, I'm going to do a Sunday show on my own. So if you want to tune into that, enjoy. It's on my YouTube channel. Dodgers Padres. Yeah, yesterday Dodgers looked bad. Bryan, you were right about Walker Buehler. I just don't like him. I don't know why, but he's really pitching well, and he pitched well yesterday too. I don't know why I don't like him. I don't know. Anyways, on to today. I have the Dodgers ranked better than the Padres at batting just by a couple points. And watching yesterday's game, they said a very interesting statistic that I didn't know of, but Manny Machado has the lowest batting average of any hitter in MLB with a certain amount of at-bats. I didn't know that, and I looked it up. He's hitting like 170. It's like crazy because he's a much better batter than that. But anyways, I digress. Bullpen also, I have the Padres a little bit better than the Dodgers, but it's comparable. But starting pitcher, there's no doubt that Yamamoto is much better than Vasquez. And Vasquez had a really good start to the season, but he is tapering off. He's turning into last year Randy Vasquez kind of quickly. I don't think there's any way you could go against the Dodgers here, but the price is not justified because that's way too big of a price considering these teams are not that separated as far as talent is concerned. Just record-wise, they are. But if you look at current form, the Padres are actually playing a little better than the Dodgers right now. I wouldn't lay the price, but there are a couple of ways you can attack this. You could take Yamamoto to get the win because three things have to happen. They have to be winning after the fifth inning, and the bullpen has to hold on to it. Yes, and Yamamoto has to go 5 innings. So if you complete those three things, you can get the win. So you'll probably get decent odds. Another way you could approach it is a team total. Maybe take a Padres team total under. After exploding yesterday, I think they'll probably be a little dormant today. So those are two ways you could probably approach it, in my opinion.
Yeah, just to real quick, I do have a 5% play tonight. So Tokyo Brandon talked about the double play package. If you use it on me and one of the other two guys on the screen, I've got one tonight that I like quite a bit. Good night. Yeah, I guess good night for me last night. I hit with the Mets, got it +1.5 to all the +1.5 haters out there. It came into play last night, needed that run as they lost 2-1 and one in the KBO this morning. So feel like we've got some momentum going into today. As far as this game is concerned, Tokyo Brandon last Sunday did a 90-minute show by himself. Absolutely should be tuning into TV show tomorrow if you're looking for Sunday info. Did 90 minutes on his own.
You guys say Adam likes talking. I like talking.
That must be 90 minutes is tough to fill by yourself.
It's like great. It's like Grateful Dead levels.
And it's tough.
I'm like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, just the whole. That's an impressive solo set right there. Yeah,
I actually kind of take after his wardrobe a little bit. Elvis and Michael Jackson mixed together with a little Al Capone, I guess, and Ted Nugent.
Living people you take after?
Sorry, no. Well, Ted Nugent. Sorry, Adam.
I always say it's all good. I think you pull off like the Stevie Ray Vaughan look a little bit. Like that was like whenever which I mean, one of the best guitar players to ever live. If you're not familiar with that,
don't get on
another dead person though. Another dead person, but that's okay. I like Cold Shot by Stevie Ray Vaughan, one of my favorite songs. Cold Shot's a great song.
Terrific.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, no, that's we'll get back to baseball here. I mean, listen, you're talking Padres who play in the Eddie Vedder rivalry invitational. You can talk a little music. That's of course when they play the made up rivalry that they have with the Mariners. This is actually what we've all three of us said has become almost like more of a rivalry in recent years than maybe Dodgers Giants. It just seems like every time the Dodgers and the Padres play, these games just mean something. Like every time they play feels like a meaningful sort of big type game. Both of you kind of made the point yesterday that the Padres maybe get up for the Dodgers a little more than the other way around, where it's like the Dodgers, I think I would say the Dodgers still kind of look at the Giants as their rival because it's historic and it kind of gets hyped up to that. But like every other team in this division, for the most part, sees the Dodgers as their rival. There's no question that the Padres want to be that other sort of big team out west, and they've this group of guys has been close. They haven't quite got over the hump, and that's kind of what I was talking about yesterday when I'm looking at this Padres lineup. Tokyo Brandon, you said you look at Machado's numbers and you're shocked, and it's like it's not just him, right? Like that's shocking to see Manny Machado with a 655 OPS and a batting average of under 200. What about Jackson Merrill hitting 209 with a 617 OPS? What about Fernando Tatis with a 718 OPS? He's starting to come around a little bit, but this is a guy you expect up in the 900s. I mean, supposed generational talent, and he's underachieved. Go down the list. Xander Bogaerts, 227 with a 653 OPS. I guess the point that we started to make yesterday, which sort of came true, was that if the Padres start to collectively produce, this team might rattle off quite a few wins. They have the best bullpen. If you go pound for pound, and then you take the high leverage guys and sort of prioritize them, Padres have the best bullpen in baseball. Like when you can go to Miller and you can you go look top to bottom, that's the best bullpen in the league. If all these guys start to hit, the Padres are really going to start to win games. I actually would take the 1.5 here. If Vasquez can keep them in this game, I think it'll be a game. And so that's the way I would look, as Padres plus 1.5, but a very interesting game. I would not be dying to play against this Padres team right now. There's too much potential upside with the lineup relative to where they've hit to this season. And Tokyo Brandon Machado is right up at the top of that list with, I mean, is the guy going to hit 186 all year? Probably not.
No. But the Padres are kind of like that girl that you meet in the bar after you've had 3 beers. She looks really good, and then you take her home and wake up the next day. That's like betting money, and you're like, you
wake up in October, and that's what they look like, 100%. All right, we'll move it on to a different game. First, John says, why does Triggs' hair always look like he's been up for hours? I have been up for hours. I think I was up at 4:30. That the Hanwha Eagles started at 4 a.m. East Coast time. There's JP. He says, he has been up for hours. I'm in a hotel in Towson, Maryland right now. I've already been to Whole Foods. I bought a whole bunch of stuff at Whole Foods at 8 a.m. this morning. So I got the organic energy drinks. I got my berries here. Still finishing my breakfast. I've been up for 5 hours. Already got a 5%er out. So no, we're cruising so far this morning, and we're going to get to and the show's an hour later for us today. So our weekday show starts at 9. I feel like I've been up all day at this point with this show starting at 10. Okay, let's go to this one. A couple people in the chat want to talk Phillies Mets. I sort of, I ran to the to my book and to the WagerTalk site to lock in the Mets as soon as they fired Carlos Mendoza yesterday. Of course, we talked about it on the show. Shout out to the legend Dave Koken. He was a big proponent of, as soon as a team fires their manager, especially when they're good, like when it's a team, not when they're a good team, but when it's a team, Bryan Leonard, that was perceived as good with expectations and came into the season with expectations, and then they fire their manager, these teams tend to start winning. Perfect example is their opponent right here. How about the Phillies? They are 37-17 since they fired Rob Thompson and since Don Mattingly took over. Is that going to happen with the Mets? I don't know. They lost last night, but if you had the plus 1.5, they cash. However, this is a much more winnable game for the Mets today. They don't have to go up against Zach Wheeler. They're actually the favorite. So, Bryan Leonard, are you jumping in with the Mets right here is the question.
This is an interesting game. You mentioned the manager change. It should have been done months ago. It was the management for this team screwed that up. They have all great players on the team, spent a lot of money on the team, and then you got a manager who, to me, just wasn't very good. So I don't know. Do you really want to bet on the Mets? I've faded the Mets for so long. Now, is that the reason for them to be a favorite here? The line's about 130 out there right now. I'm seeing as low as 120 out there in Vegas if you're here. But It's about a 130 with a total of 9. Rangel looked pretty good in his first start, but he is not one of their better pitchers. Scott, I've always liked, and he's going to help him. He just came back from the IL. He missed one start, I believe, and he's back. But the Philadelphia offense is so hot right now. You take a look at what they've done. Here's looking at their top 7 guys in the lineup for the last week. Ranking in baseball: 55, 7, 4, 15, 279, 39, and 46. Alec Baum is the 279. I don't want to stand in front of these guys. Yeah, this is a good pitcher's ballpark, and we probably will see a lower scoring game. But from the Philadelphia standpoint, Duran's had to pitch 2 of the last 3 days. Kerkering, who is really coming into his own now, has had to pitch 3 of the last 4, so they're probably not going to pitch. Alvarado's pitched 2 out of 3, so their bullpen's not going to be in that great of a shape here. And the Mets are a team that, from talent standpoint, yes, they are very talented. But Devin Williams has pitched 2 out of 3. Weaver's pitched 2 out of 3. Rayleigh's pitched 2 out of 3. Same for Brazelbon. So their bullpen's not in that great a shape here. And I'm a little bit concerned there. Yeah, they're hitting a little bit better. They've got 4 guys right now in the top 100 the last week. So the hitting's looking pretty good. With the bullpens the way they are, I kind of may take a look at the over here. We're looking, you can get 9 at pretty close to even money, plus 100 or maybe minus 105 here. Slight lean to the over. Don't know if I'll get there on the Mets. I need to see the Mets win a game before I can make that change. I understand fully what you're saying, but until that happens, I'll wait a game or so.
Yeah, I listen, Brian. I like the idea of the Mets catching the run a lot more than I like the idea of the Mets laying minus 130 and needing to actually win and break this now what I believe is a 7-game losing streak. Tokyo Brandon, I think after last night's loss, of course, if you played the money line, you would have lost. The Mets lost the game. I believe that's 7 in a row. So how do you see Phillies Mets, and do you agree with Brian? Is there going to be runs in this game?
Everybody, did you know that you could pick any capper at WagerTalk and get 6 days for the price of 3 at WagerTalk.com? Any of us, or you could get 2 of us for 3 days on a double play. So go to WagerTalk.com and do that. You can get 90 minutes of a Sunday breakdown from me tomorrow morning. So let's talk about this. I don't think there's any way you could bet the Mets here, in my opinion. They're just not a good team. They just aren't. And they have a losing record at home. They're hitting. I got them ranked 23 out of 30. I got the Phillies ranked 2. Just too big of a discrepancy in that hitting, in my opinion. The bullpens, actually, both bullpens are pretty good. I got Philly ranked 5 and I got the Mets ranked 8 currently. Yeah, there's an X factor here, though. Rangel is kind of an X factor. He's got 19 innings of experience in Major League Baseball. Christian Scott, 135 whip, not very good, although his surface numbers are good. I think I'd take the Phillies here. I don't think in any universe should the Mets be a favorite against the Phillies with the current rosters the way they are. That's just how I see it. I would take a flyer on the Phillies, but too many X factors, so I probably won't bet it. I'm probably a minority in that opinion, though.
I don't think your opinion. Listen, the Mets probably should not be $1.30 favorite. That's insane.
Exactly.
Like for how they've played and for the caliber of team they're playing, the Phillies, they should not be. And I know you guys all expected me to come on here, especially after cashing with the Mets, and just run it back with them and
yeah.
I've play them until they lose and stuff. And I'm not saying that they're not going to win today. I actually kind of do feel like they find a way. Like it's just like I think they find a way to win. But laying minus 130 to find out with this team is kind of crazy. I would have expected, like I thought I was gonna open up the odd screen this morning and see like minus 105, minus 110. And we're already up to minus 130. It was like minus 132. It's come back a little bit. So it's like I kind of am priced out here. Why it's that high? Well, Alan Rangel's pretty much a AAA guy. You know, you say he only has 19 innings at AAA, or I'm sorry, at the MLB level, but the guy's been in AAA for like 4 years. So it's like he's the type of guy that it's like, you know, he's the type of guy you're only calling if you really need someone at that, and you don't have anyone else. And the reason he's up there right now is because Andrew Painter is probably, you know, he was probably the guy that, you know, they expected to be in this spot. He's down working on mechanics at AAA. So they're kind of going Rangel. Like, you may actually see the Phillies throw an opener ahead of him. They did it last time he pitched. And if he can give them like 3 or 4 innings of like bulk relief, they're going to be happy with that. That being said, Phillies have used a whole lot of bullpen this week. Look at every game they played with the Nationals. Went down to the 9th inning. They needed a timely hit to win. Last night, they have to go to Johan Duran. I believe Duran's pitched multiple times in the last few days. So I'm with you, Brian. If you can get an over 8.5 here, like my projection has this 8.9. That's probably enough. I think over makes a lot of sense. I mean, Soto had a 2-run home run that was pulled from the clouds last night. They've also been a little bit unlucky. They're bad, but they've been a little bit unlucky as well. So Brian, I'll go with you. I like the over. I don't really want to pick a side. I like the over. I do have a play I really like. I'm going for my 4th straight 5% winner. So I did have some rough luck earlier this week, but the 5%ers this month have been really good. I've got a 5%er that goes tonight. It's up on my page. And of course, you can get it as part of the double play package and grab one of the other guys as well. Mark Lambert. This one's very interesting. Brian, I'll come back to you. He says, I like -118 Burns and the Reds. That's, of course, going to be Chase Burns. And he's going to go up against the embattled Jared Jones, who just hasn't been as good as I think we would hope that he would have been since he's come back from injury. Interesting development. The Pirates get Connor Griffin back last night. That's big for them. But they lose the game, which we kind of talked about on this show being a possibility, or at least, you know, something that you would want to target at the price it was at yesterday when the Reds were a big underdog with Paul Skeens on the mound. Now they're a favorite, but they've got Chase Burns. How do you see Reds Pirates here?
First off, number 1 handicapper in Major League Baseball the last 7 days, number 1 all time at WagerTalk going back 11, 12 years. I do have like 5 plays I'm looking at right now. I haven't put up anything yet, but there's like 5 plays I like on today's card. I won't have a 5, but I'm breaking down these other games, so I'll have some good plays up later on today. Yeah, very good matchup here with the Burns and Jones. Burns about a 115 favorite here with a total of 8. Cincinnati yesterday, and I talked about that lineup from 1 to 9 yesterday, and they started coming through a little bit. They had a pretty good offensive game, and I think we're going to get better days ahead for the Cincinnati offense. Burns has been terrific. He's ranked as number 8th pitcher in Major League Baseball, and in the last 2 weeks, number 14. Brady Singer, by the way, number 12 the last 14 days, a guy that I've made a little bit of money on lately, and he's still getting underdog value. Maybe we'll see that again when they play tomorrow in the series finale. But the Reds had to use a lot of bullpen yesterday. Their top 4 guys that they used at the end of the game all had to be used. They didn't have to be used on Thursday because I don't think they played on Thursday. But that's something to keep in mind here. From the hitting standpoint, yeah, they've got some guys are struggling. But overall, I think Blake Dunn, by the way, he's been leading off for them. I believe I read something this morning that he's possibly going on the IL. That will be a concern a little bit there. Maybe they'll bring somebody up. Or they've got Marte, who's looked really good in the minor leagues, and every time he gets in the majors, he struggles a little bit. Maybe he'll take his place, but we'll have to see. But I do like Chase Burns. Not enamored with the Cincinnati bullpen. Okay, from the opposite side, we're getting Pittsburgh, and as you mentioned, that bringing back the rookie was very much a surprise to me. I didn't know he was ready to come back that early, but he came back and batted leadoff yesterday against the lefties, so that'll help them out there. From a pitching standpoint, Jared Jones, yeah, his numbers haven't shown that he's gotten back to his full self, but I kind of like Jared Jones. It wouldn't surprise me if he pitches a little bit better here. Bullpen situation. Soto pitched on Thursday, did not pitch the 3 days prior, did not pitch yesterday. So that helps him. Santana is also out there. I'm not a big fan of this bullpen. I talked about Mason Montgomery yesterday. He didn't really pitch very well. He's pitched the last 2 days. He won't be in there today. So I'm looking to fade the bullpens a little bit here, and I'm liking the offenses. And you're getting basically a line of 8 here. Even seeing a couple places out there, if you're looking to lay the 7.5, you can lay about 25, which isn't terrible. But I think the offenses are on the upwards trend. And as much as I like Burns, and I think Jones has the ability, I don't want either one of these bullpens. So unless Burns is going 7 innings of shutout ball or giving up 1 or 2 runs, I think this could be a higher scoring game. So I prefer the over. I'm going to wait it out with 2 somewhat big name pitchers. Maybe we can catch 7.5 instead of 8s right now. If we get a 7.5, I'll be on this over.
Tokyo Brandon, I'll throw this to you, but before I do, something that I don't think maybe got enough attention. I think if these were bigger teams, it would have. So Jared Jones in his last start, he misses a year because he has to have elbow surgery. His last start, he takes a 90-mile-an-hour comebacker off of his elbow and has to leave the game. He's in Colorado. He's finally starting to put together a good start. He's out there, 3 innings. I think this is the 4th inning. He's only given up 1 hit. He's looking good. And he takes 90-mile-an-hour comebacker off of the elbow he just had surgery on that he missed a year with, and he leaves the game. So, this is his first start since then. I think you could say that that's a pretty big concern if you're looking to back the Pirates here. Does that play into how you're seeing Pirates Reds at all?
Yeah, I kind of like what I saw in Jones. I mean, his command is there. He's within the acceptable range, but the results just aren't following. I don't think he's pitching too poorly, but you're right. The injury is a little bit of a concern. Burns has been awesome. Striking people out. He's got a great walk to strikeout ratio. The Pirates were one of the top hitting teams until hit a little bit of a slide here. The Reds were one of the worst hitting teams, and now they got De La Cruz back. They got some guys back, and now they've moved up to 18 from 28 in 2 or 3 days. So I think the Reds are pretty hot here. Like Bryan said, though, not too enamored with the bullpen. Pirates bullpen is dealing right now. So I think I might take the Reds in the first 5 here if I were to play the game. I have 2 4% plays out in MLB today. You guys, Adam has a 5. And Bryan, did you say you have a 5 or you're thinking about it?
No 5 today.
Okay. So, but you're going to put something out. So all of us will have something. All of us will have something out. So it's a great day to take a double play, Adam and Bryan, or Adam and me, and ride with us. I would take the Reds first 5 maybe because like Bryan said, I don't like the bullpen very much, but I love Chase Burns. I actually like Jones better than most people probably. I think he's pitching pretty well, but like you said, the elbow, a little bit of a concern.
TB, I think that's what makes this so tricky because you're right. I like Jones too. He comes out after a long rehab. The guy's throwing 99. His stuff looks good. If you've watched him pitch and I caught some of his rehab starts. I mean, the fastball velocity is up. It looks like he should be unhittable. And then he kind of came out and, had that start against the Twins where he wasn't that good. But at times his stuff has looked good. And then last time out, he looked like he was starting to build toward what would have been his best start. And then you have the bad luck of getting hit by the comebacker. I don't really know how to evaluate him at this point. So it's very tricky. I will say I agree with you guys. Pirates bullpen's clearly the better unit at the later portion of this game. So I think Reds does make sense. If you want to back the Reds, I do feel like first 5 probably makes more sense because you're just isolating Burns. But yeah, Reds we talked about earlier in this week. They're another team I kind of as soon as Ellie came back, I thought I was going to gravitate toward them more. So I don't really want to bet against them. But it is an interesting game. All right, this is also interesting. We should talk about this one. Alex ran. We'll go to you. First of all, thank you for the donation. Much appreciated. We donate all of the money donated on the show goes to charity. I think we've worked with a couple different ones in the past. Someone's like, where do you donate it to? I think one was Opportunity Village we've donated to before, and there's a whole bunch of different ones that the home office picks. So we very much appreciate that. We will get to your game. I agree with you here, Alex. White Sox, I would say going crazy is maybe a little bit of an understatement. That was, they scored touchdowns yesterday. I think 22 when it was all said and done. I lost track, Brian. All I know is they were scoring and scoring. Once they hit 20, I stopped checking the score.
They got Alex a 2-point conversion.
They got a 2-point conversion. Yeah, they just went for 2. It was just out of hand. I'm with you, Alex, though. Even with that crazy score, the matchup, I still gravitate toward the White Sox. But, Brian, it is tough to back a team after they drop 22 on someone. So how do you see White Sox Royals? Is there a way in for you here?
The Royals gave up 22 runs, and yet they had to use their best 3 guys in the bullpen. How is that possible? I don't understand it. Lang came in. He's been their closer lately. He had to throw 26 pitches. Urseg came in and threw 15. That's 2 out of 3 days for him. Lynch just pitched 2 out of the last 3 days, and Schreiber pitched 26 pitches yesterday. The only reason Strahm didn't pitch is because he pitched the day before. They screwed this up big time, and this goes back to what we talked about last week or the week before about playing series. If I'd have known that Kansas City was going to blow their best relievers in a game in which they gave up 22 runs, I would not want any part of Kansas City. And the thing is, Kansas City has played really well against the White Sox until this year. They take advantage of a bad White Sox teams. But now, what's Kansas City going to do? They've got Michael Walker on the mound, and he's been very good. But, it's 32 on the season, but 75th over the last 14 days. He hasn't been pitching that great, but he's been okay. But what are they going to do from a bullpen standpoint in this game? I don't understand it at all. They did get Bobby Witt came back from injury yesterday. He DH'd, and that helps them a little bit here. So hopefully he's back and able to contribute. But, with the injuries they've had, Pascatino's out. India hadn't done much, but he's been out for a while. Garcia, people were excited about his season at third base, and he's out. So, and Kyle Isbell, Vegas product, by the way, is also out. So they're missing half of their starting lineup and their entire bullpen here. So there's no way I could play Kansas City. I would have loved to come back and play a team that got embarrassed like that, but they're going against Martin, and Martin has been pretty good on the season. And the line, honestly, is kind of cheap on the White Sox in the 140 range. So I'm not going to lay 140 on a team that just scored 22 runs, but I really wanted Kansas City, and I can't back them because of the manager's decisions yesterday. It's frustrating when you're not even going to come back and win that game. Why even bother putting these guys in? You should have been putting bench baseball players in, bring a guy in the 7th, 8th inning that always wanted to pitch in the majors, never got a chance when you're a backup catcher or something. That's what they should have done. It wouldn't have made a difference. They still scored all those runs against the bullpen anyway.
Tokyo Brandon, you were talking about Davis Martin a couple months ago, kind of ahead of the curve on him. He is very much panned out to, I would say be better than I ever thought he could be. I never saw Davis Martin at this point in the year 9-3. I know wins and losses don't really matter, but still 9-3, a 3.18 WHIP, 1.20 WHIP, an ERA in the low threes. He's got 87 strikeouts. Davis Martin has looked the part to this point. I know you had liked him all along the way. So are you back on Davis Martin here, or are you going to go a different way with this one?
So there's a thing about baseball that are ebbs and flows that I've talked about in previous shows. And it just usually nothing is for sure. Nothing is certain. I've said before, predicting the future is kind of like releasing a pigeon into the sky and hoping it flies left when you predict it's going to fly left. You have no control after you let go of the pigeon, but there are things that are established patterns. that happen more likely than not. And one of those things is when a team scores 14 or more runs or 13 or more runs, generally the day after that, they settle down a little bit. This is something that I've experienced my 30, 40 years of betting and watching baseball. So I don't think the White Sox are going to score very much at least in the first 5 innings. Waka has great stats against them in his career, 48 at-bats against with a 146 average and a 434 OPS. So I definitely would like to take a White Sox team total first 5 under, and that's going to be my parlay piece. Unfortunately, I didn't look that number up before the show. Sorry about that. I do like Davis Martin. He's had a couple of blow-ups in his last 4 starts. He gave up a 9-burger and a 6-burger in his last 4 starts. I did have him as a top 5 MLB pitcher, but he's dropped out of the top 10 with those 2 blow-ups. But he's still a very good pitcher. He has really bad numbers against these Royals, and with Bobby Witt back, I don't know what to expect, to be honest. But I do expect the White Sox bats to be extremely quiet, at least in the first 5 innings. So that's going to be my parlay piece. Brian,
Brian, back to you.
Yeah, current line on that right now is about 2.5 under 155. Are you fine with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's White Sox. So White Sox
team total. First 5 under 2.5.
And you said that's what, minus 155?
155.
Minus 150. Love it. Yeah, it's just an ebb and flow about baseball, you know. I mean, I do have the White Sox ranked higher than the Royals at almost everything: hitting, bullpen, starting pitcher. I got the White Sox ranked better than the Royals, but that is a huge red flag for me. The fact that they just blew up yesterday, and the Royals need to learn how to use their backup shortstop for batting practice when they're down by 20 or more in the 8th inning.
All right, I'm going to go to Vinny G. So, Brian, we'll go to your parlay leg next. This is a game that's definitely on my radar. I don't know if this will be my leg. We may have already talked about my leg, but we'll talk about this one. So, first of all, Vinny, much appreciate the donation to the show. We will absolutely get to your game. He says D-backs today with a question mark. I don't mind it. Definitely did not agree with the Rays being priced where they are. This is one team, a couple of teams on the that I think are just getting priced kind of outrageous, and the Rays have been that team for a while now. I said it earlier this week, I couldn't believe how big of a favorite they were against the Royals that whole series. If the Royals are going to give up 20, I guess maybe that makes a little bit of sense. But again, the Rays here, once again, they come into this game, Brian. First thought before I even really unpack it, they're laying too much. So I start to gravitate toward D-backs. It's going to be D-backs or pass for me, no question. I'm curious to see how you see D-backs raise and if you can talk me on or off the visitors here.
No, I agree. I kind of like the D-backs here. You're looking at it from a pitching standpoint. They got Jose Cabrera on the mound. Last 14 days, he ranks 33rd overall in the season, 140. But the bullpen for Arizona is in really good shape. Nobody's pitched the last 2 days except for Juan Burgos, who pitched 20 pitches last night, brought him up from AAA. So, and you've got Sewald hasn't pitched in 3 days. Ginkel's been on a pretty good run for them. He hasn't pitched in 3 days. So they're set up from a bullpen standpoint very good, very well in this game. So I think they're going to have a really strong effort. From a hitting standpoint, the top of the order has been really good lately. The bottom of the order is struggling. They did get Max Kepler back. He was suspended. He played left field last game. Don't know what kind of Max Kepler fan I am, especially coming off of using illegal drugs or whatever. But they got Gurriel back the other day. Pavin Smith came back about a week earlier. So their lineup's getting a little bit stronger as we go. And you mentioned Tampa Bay. I do. I agree. This is going to be a bullpen game for them. They got Sulcer supposed to start. Cole Sulcer. He'll probably go 1 inning. But when you take a look at the bullpen for the Rays, the last 3 days they've had to use a lot of these bullpen arms. Brian Baker's been shut down. He's been one of the best closers in Major League Baseball. He hasn't pitched in the last 2 days, but Kelly's pitched 2 of the last 3. Clevenger's pitched 2 of the last 3. Had to use a couple other guys. So a bullpen advantage in this game is clearly Arizona, if you ask me. And we've got, a bullpen game for Tampa Bay. And when you have a bullpen game, as opposed to a starter, who if it's a starter's in the game and he's pitching well, he's going to continue to pitch well. In bullpen games, you can go in, you can strike out the side on 9 pitches. That doesn't mean you're going to pitch the next inning. So I'm not big on bullpen games, especially against a team that can hit. And we've already talked in the past, just a few days ago, we talked about how the National League's record against American League is. In all, there's 7 teams. This was a few days ago. 7 teams with a positive run differential in the National League. Only 3 in the American League. One of them being Tampa was only like +7. So you already know the National League's better than the American League, and you're catching a National League team here with a guy who's probably going to go 5 innings against a guy who's going to go 1 inning, and you're catching, 130 come back. I see a 135 out there at the Sportsbook Superbook here in Vegas. So, it's Arizona or nothing for me, and it will probably be one of my plays I give clients today.
Yeah, Tokyo Brandon. I'll let you go first, and then like I said, I've kind of already revealed how I'm looking at this one. But Rays D-backs to you, side or total? How are you seeing this one?
I don't really have an opinion on this game, so I will basically pass because there's way too many X factors. But let me plug a double play, 2 of us, 3 for 3 days, huge discount. Let me plug my Sunday show on my YouTube channel. That's it. So we can squeeze another game in, hopefully, because I really don't. If the Diamondbacks are gonna win a game in this series, it's gonna be this one.
Well, yeah, you said that, the X factor here, I think, is Jose Cabrera. I don't think anyone really knows anything about him. I've watched a lot of him recently. So he was actually in Double-A for the majority of the first part of the season. He spent very limited time at Reno. I happened to catch basically every inning he threw at Reno because it was only a couple of different starts. Thought his stuff looked fantastic. He comes out last week, pitched pretty good for the Diamondbacks. He's got like a nice pitch mix. I mean, this is a guy that he's throwing 4 or 5 different pitches. He's mixing it up. Stuff looks really good. I have yet to watch him throw an inning that I haven't been like, well, this guy's got like pretty nasty stuff. I'll use the D-backs in the parlay. I'll juice the parlay up with some odds today. I'm going to go D-backs money line in the parlay. I don't think the Rays I don't think the Rays are as good of a baseball team as their record suggests that they are, and where they keep getting priced in the market. I just disagree with. I've been talking about this for a month. They again tip the cap. They had a great April, a great May, really a great June for a couple of weeks, and won a whole bunch of games. This team's not that good. Get that through your heads. This Rays team is not that good, and we're going to continue to make money by opposing them. Brian, what am I looking at again for a Diamondbacks money line? That's going in the parlay here.
Yeah, they're about 130 right now. And you talked about Tampa Bay. I haven't mentioned the hot teams, the cold teams on the season, but Tampa Bay is still the team that is playing over and above what their stats show, and the Tigers are the most unlucky team in baseball, and that's been that way for about a month now.
Yeah, and again, if you get a chance, like Jose Cabrera's got impressive stuff. He the majority of stuff he throws to is not just like his fastball's like the 4th or 5th pitch he'll go to. A lot of movement. I don't think the Rays are going to be very well prepared for what he's going to throw at them. What is the money line for Diamondbacks? Plus 135?
Plus it's anywhere from 130 to 135. I'd say 130 is more. There's a couple 135s out there. 132 is probably, I would say, somewhere in the middle.
All right, I was going to say I'll go plus 130 for the parlay. Obviously, shop around if you can find better. That is to your benefit. So that's good because we got Tokyo Brandon's got that White Sox team total under. I'll offset it with a little, the juice there with a little plus 130 money line. Brian, give us the third leg of the parlay. What are you looking at to close this thing out?
Yeah, my handicap is very similar to the game we just talked about. Washington's at Baltimore. Foster Griffin, the lefty, going against Young, who's pitched very well for Baltimore. once again, I didn't have much interest in this earlier because Griffin was about a 120 favorite. Now there's money's coming in on Baltimore here, and we can actually get Washington basically a pick'em thing. I'm seeing as high as plus 106 out there now, but we'll go with plus 100 on Washington. Griffin is a lefty, as I mentioned, and Baltimore struggled against lefties this season. And we've got a team in the better league, which is the National League, going against a Baltimore team in the American League. And I know the division the Baltimore plays in is a stronger division, no doubt about it. But Washington's a team that continues to make us money all season long, and they've got their best pitcher on the mound, and you're getting them at plus 100. I'll take Washington here. With Griffin. Griffin's a guy who is stayed under the national radar because he plays for Washington, and they've got such a bad pitching staff, especially in the bullpen. But I think we'll get 6 good innings out of Griffin today, and the Baltimore bullpen isn't terrific. So, I'll take Washington here at plus 100 in a game. I think they should probably be about a 110, 115 favorite. So a little bit of juice there we're saving, and we'll take it.
Tokyo Brandon, we've come on here and clowned the Nats bullpen at times, and rightfully so. I mean, that was just outrageous earlier this week to blow, I think, 3 different games against the Phillies where they had leads. The one nice thing, so I picked my spot correctly in that Nationals-Phillies series. I played the first game, and it was because of Foster Griffin. That's who I wanted to back on Monday. He was fantastic. And the reason I'm bringing that up here is because Foster Griffin's probably the one guy or the most likely guy in that rotation to keep the bullpen out of the mix. He's the one that's consistently going deepest in the games. So I'm with Bryan. I lean Nationals. How are you seeing Nationals, Orioles, and anything on the total?
Yeah, I got Foster Griffin ranked 6 points higher than Brandon Young. Young has good surface numbers, but his expected numbers not as good. I have him on a curve of 30 ranked 16, so a little bit under mediocre for Young. Both lineups, I've got them dead even at 13 out of 30 in current form, and Washington's bullpen is bad. Orioles bullpen playing pretty well, actually. Man, the A's bullpen looks horrible too. Man, you can expect when their starter comes out, you can expect 2 runs at least when their starter comes out. But anyways, I digress. I think that the Orioles' first 5 team total is 2.5. Look, Foster Griffin hasn't given up more than 1 earned run in his last 4 starts. And for a lineup that I have ranked dead mediocre, I don't think they're going to get 3 on him in the first 5 innings. So I think a Baltimore Orioles team total first 5 under would be the way to go here if I were to bet it.
Yeah, Bryan, what is for the parlay? What are we looking at for Nats on the money line again?
Let me get back to that here. I would say plus 100. You could get upwards of plus 106 out there, but there's only like 3 places that I see that have them minus 105 or less. So yeah, plus 100 is generous. I think that's a nice bet. And as I said, you can get even better if you shop around.
Yeah, Omni, I wouldn't put you off a Nats first 5, but here's the thing, I think you want this Nats line, even though you may have to endure some Nats bullpen. The Orioles, like Bryan said, the Orioles bullpen isn't much better. And I still think you get the Nationals lineup against some of these Orioles relievers. They could have a crooked number late there that I don't think you want to miss out on. So I gravitate more toward the full game because I want 9 innings of at-bats with this Nationals lineup, which is very, very good in my opinion. So, yeah, I'm with you there, Bryan. That is one that is on my radar for today as well. I haven't bet that one yet, but I'm certainly – I totally agree with where you're going with the Nationals. Where we're going with the parlay is as follows. We've got Nationals on the money line full game. Even money. Diamondbacks on the money line full game. That's plus 130. And then Tokyo Brandon is going with White Sox first 5 team total under 2.5 minus 155. Believe we went 2 out of 3 again yesterday. We keep going 2-1. So hopefully we can get one of these parlays home. It would put us back in the plus. Tokyo Brandon's got a Sunday show tomorrow, so make sure that you are checking him out on his own YouTube channel. Bryan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to point out there's been somebody in the YouTube Slack or YouTube comments keep talking about us losing parlays, 3-game parlays. Hitting a 3-game parlay is tough. I mean, none of us play parlays. We always recommend to play these games straight, and I think we've won every day this week, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
We just haven't hit the parlays, so we don't recommend parlays. That's a fun thing that we do on the show. There's not any professionals out there. You have to have the exact best line at the best casino at the same time for all 3 games, which is another reason why I don't play parlays. But we've got to have a way to keep us straight and let people know how we're doing. It's much easier to grade one parlay than it is 3 separate games every day. So the people that we've been following us all year long, they know they're betting every game individually, and they're all up a lot more money than what we would do with the parlays, which I think we're down just a little bit so far.
Yep, minus 4.59 units. So if whatever your
last
unit
year we were
size
up higher than
is,
that. So a year and a half of doing it.
so like here's the thing though, we're minus 4.59 units, but
it'd be up. Yeah, if we bet them all separate.
But this is the thing with parlays too. We're minus 4.59 units. We hit one and we're back in the plus. Yeah. We follow it up with another one. Like, so that's, the ebbs and flows of parlay betting is, you hit 2, that might spell you for like 3 weeks. You might lose the next 10.
You win one every 6 days and you're in pretty good business.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just, again, it's something fun we do for the show. We're trying to give out straight bets that you can bet on your own as well. If you want the plays that we are for sure playing, those are at WagerTalk. I've got a 5% play I love that goes tonight. The other guys, Tokyo Brandon's got 4%ers up. Brian's going to put something up after the game. So, we've got stuff all day for you on Saturday on our site at wagertalk.com. Once again, on the way out, hang around for last call. I think Kelly, Joe Ranieri, Carmine's coming on to talk World Cup. I think he's just printing in the World Cup right now, if I've heard correctly.
33. He's up 33 units since the World Cup started.
He's been preparing for
it's
World
still the
Cup
group phase
for months because he's been buying tickets. He's calling me up. Hey,
and it's his birthday.
I've never seen him so excited about a sporting event. So good for him.
Think about. I mean, that's like,
so tell him happy birthday
for him to win during the World Cup. Like that's like 3-4 years ago. I hit like 80% during March Madness, and it was like pretty much the best moment of my life. Like I don't know if my life will ever get better than that run in March Madness. So, and the World Cup comes around once every 4 years. So yeah, props to Carmine. I hope he continues it. And the best part is, if you're hearing about this now, that the group phase we still have a 32 team knockout bracket in the World Cup. So check Carmine out for that. And he will be on last call with everyone right now. So we got to get off here because they're coming up. Again, the parlay, Nationals money line, Diamondbacks money line, White Sox first 5 team total under 2.5. Have a great weekend, everyone. TB will hold you over tomorrow on his own channel. The 3 of us will be back on Monday. We'll see you guys then.